Hey guys! How's your vacation so far? For today's video, we will gonna talk about the perfect progressive tenses. For English learners, perfect progressive tenses can be scary, but they are more straightforward than you might think. Take note of this, guys. Perfect progressive sentences focus on the completion of an action that is, was, or will be in progress. Perfect progressive tenses or sentences often answer the question how long. There are three perfect progressive tenses. These are the present perfect progressive, the past perfect progressive, and the future perfect progressive. While the perfect tense or aspect is a verb form that indicates that an action or circumstance occurred earlier than the time under consideration, often focusing attention on the resulting state than on the occurrence itself. So as we go along with this video, we will know, understand, and learn its proper usage, definition, and also the application of these tenses in our examples.
Perfect tense. The word perfect tense shows that an action has been completed. Perfect means finished or complete. They are present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect tense.
Perfect tense generally focuses on how a past action affects the present. For example, I have already eaten. This sentence suggests that the speaker is not hungry. We use the three auxiliary verbs to show that the action has been completed. We use have, has, and had to make the perfect tense, followed by the past participle of the main verb.
Present perfect tense. It is an action or state that either occurred in an indefinite time in the past or begun in the past and continued in the present. This tense formed using by has or have with the past participle of the verb. The construction of this tense is straightforward with the sum up of these two elements. First, the using of has, have, depending on the subject in correlation with the verb conjugation. The second element is the past participle of the verb, which is usually formed by adding ed or d to the verb's group. Example is the walk, to walk, the clean, to clean, the type, to type. On the other hand, there are these irregular verbs that we have, just like for example, the think, to thought, the go, to gone. Present perfect participle can describe something that occurred or was the state of things that an unspecified time passed. I have walked on this path before. So this have is the present tense, the walk is the past participle, and this before is the unspecified time. As you can see, it doesn't specify a specific time, it just happened before. Next example is this sentence. Just like earlier, this have is the present tense depending on the subject, which is the first person plural, the eaten, which is the past participle, and the here. This word represents unspecified not just time but location.
Past perfect tense. So, what is past perfect tense? Past perfect tense is usually called blue perfect. It is a type of verb form generally treated as one of the tenses in certain languages used to refer to an action at a time earlier than a time in the past already referred. When do we use past perfect tense? Okay, The past perfect takes place before another past action. For example, I noticed that he had left his book behind. So the past action in the sentence is the notice, and the past perfect is had left. So next is, where do we use past perfect tense? We use past perfect tense to show that something happened before another action in the past. It can also be used to show that something happened before a specific time in the past. So, how to form the past perfect tense? To form the past perfect tense, you use the past tense of the verb to have, which is had, and add it to the past participle of the main verb. For example, subject plus had plus past participle is equal past perfect tense. So let's make a sentence. She had met him before the party. He used had met.
Hello. So in this next topic that we will be having, it is called future perfect tense. So let's go to the description of it. The future perfect tense is used to describe an action that will have been completed at some point in the future. So in a short way of explaining it, it is like we're jumping to the conclusion in order for us to know what is happening or what will be happen in the future. So the example of it is John will have baked a cake, and the other is they will have painted the fence. So in order for us to know that it is future perfect tense, there are clues or keys. The key to it is will have. There are two variables on future perfect tense. It is I and they, singular and plural.
Perfect progressive tense. Perfect progressive tense describes an action that repeated over a period of time in the past are continuing in the present and there will be continue in the future. Progress means movement or unfinished. In other words, perfect progressive tense describes an action that was in progress but was then finished, using ing to show that the action is still happening. And it often answers the question how long and focuses on the completion of an action that is, was, or will be in progress. Present perfect progressive tense shows that something started in the past and is continuing at the present time.
She has been sitting in class since early this morning. So this is the subject has been, which is the present perfect progressive tense. Has because the subject is the third person singular. The sitting is the verb. So in this sentence, it answered the question how long. How long does she's been sitting in the class? Since early this morning. I have been waiting for 20 minutes. Just like in the first sentence, it answered the question how long. But time reference is not required to use. Sometimes we use it to refer to recently completed action. So all of these sentences emphasis is on how the finished activity relates to the present.
Past perfect progressive tense, or also known as the past perfect continuous. It shows that an action that started in the past continued up until another time in the past. It is constructed using had been plus the verb's present participle or the root plus the ing. For example, John had been baking a cake. So when do we use past perfect progressive tense? It is used to talk about something that started in the past and continued in the past, but everything is in the past. You also know that because it has the word past in it, so it's about the past. It has the word continuous, which means something continued. So another one, how to form the past perfect progressive tense or continuous tense. It is formed by subject plus had been plus present participle. Example, I had been jumping. Second, they had been knitting.
Hello, so the next topic that we will be having is called future perfect progressive tense. It is a verb that tense that describes actions that will continue up until a point in the future. The future perfect continuous consists of will, have, been. The verb's present participle, verb root, or ing. So, to make the explanation short, it is a matter of time as well as the first one that we had. It is like anticipating the odds or the certain events in the daily life of the people who are surrounding us in order for us to not feeling down. So the example of it is, on Thursday I will have known you for a week and I will have read 45 books by Christmas. That's all.
Perfect tense and perfect progressive tense can sometimes seem a bit difficult to understand. They both relate to things that might have happened in the past, but there's a key difference between them. As what you have watched and learned earlier, perfect tense describes an action that's being completed or finished. We use have, has, and had to make the perfect tense.
Perfect progressive tenses is a bit easier than perfect tenses because it shows that an action is happening, still happening, or will be happening. By using or adding ing on a particular word used in a sentence, it reveals that something is happening.